Welcome to the live recording of DopLiving, the Dojo of Powerful Living with Waterboxer, episode 33, Mossack Fonseca. How you going over there, Waterboxer?
Everything is cool in California today. It feels more like it's warming up, which is good. Water temperature's up, and we've got sun for a few days, and this weekend's going to be nice and warm. So yeah, everything's good, man. How's everything down south?
Yes, so we continue the move into, I suppose, deeper autumn, and yeah, getting cooler, water temperatures down. Managed to get a couple of dips in the water the last week, but yeah, air temperatures down. The mornings are cooler, the nights are cooler. So yeah, we're headed in opposite directions.
Yeah, that's one of the cool aspects of the show. We're in two different parts of the planet, so we can we can kind of feel that. So yeah, I'm happy it's going to warm up. I've been working really hard, getting some runs in, and planning some surf tomorrow, and that's all that's going on down here.
Right,
kind of status quo.
Yeah, I'm experiencing my first my first school holidays as a parent, so it's quite funny for me because I've never been through it before. I've never experienced it. So at the moment, I know I've heard you kind of talk about moving your routine around your child and really putting your child as a priority. So yeah, at the moment I'm really trying to squeeze up all my work and be very efficient in getting my work done, working a little bit outside of hours. Well, I do that anyway, but a bit more than usual. And yeah, just trying to get extra time wherever I can to be home. And the other thing with that is I see that I have to leave some of my exercise and health priorities to the side. So I've also got to deal with that, I suppose, mentally.
Yeah, it's because it is, it's a stress reliever. I was telling you before the show, last month I barely got in any surfing, very little, if none. Longest time in years. The reality is, if I have to work, I have to work. If I have to take care of business, when my son was at home, if I had to take care of school or sports or anything, getting him anywhere, to extracurricular stuff, it did come first. And the good way to look at it, really, is if you look at that as, let's just say it's your vice or your mistress, it's a lot better than gambling or drugs or alcohol, right? And you'll miss it and you'll appreciate it more. That's all I could say. You'll miss it, and you have to have confidence that you're a routine person. How many Tuesdays have we met, right? You have to have faith and confidence that you know how to reestablish your routine once that time is there. And the great thing about school holidays is that's what matinees are made for. Do you know what I mean? At the movies?
Yeah.
This is where you can get out, catch up on some kid movies, especially as it gets colder. But yeah, that time would put my... you also, too, I've always worked at home throughout my son's life. So, holidays happen, I just adjust my schedule. Yeah. You know what I mean? I block... I know appointments that week. But you have to adjust, and you just got to know you'll get to it, particularly in a week. They'll be back at school soon, right?
Yeah, it's a 2-week break, so...
Dude. Again, if you get 300 days a year in, which you do, and some days you do triples, right?
Yeah, for
and
sure.
Triples, anyone listening, like when Adam and I are on fire, we try to get a triple in, which is 3 different activities for an hour or more each, right? It's, like right now, my conditioning, I'm not up for any triples, right? I'm good for 1 hour of activity. But when my fitness increases, which it will, and I have faith and confidence, not even worried about that. It's like I know where I'm going to be 3 months from now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I actually did. Yeah, I didn't talk about it over the last couple of months, but there were a few weeks there where I was getting some triples in, and I tell you what, you're dead set right. When I could get a bike ride to work in. Something else like maybe either boxing in the morning at the gym, or yoga or whatever it was, some other activity, and then a swim later in the afternoon. That was I was going to bed, perfectly nice and early. I felt content, and then back up the next day ready to rock and roll.
Right on. It definitely, you sleep good. You know, you require it for sure. You've been catching any sunrises?
I haven't, no, because I've been squeezing up the work into the nighttime. Yeah,
I've caught. I've been out running and caught it a couple times this week so far, and it's just been overcast, so I haven't taken any pictures. But it feels, I'm still waking up really early. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, I missed them. I saw this morning when I got up, I saw on Twitter DJ Romero had put up a really nice sunrise picture, and yeah, I definitely miss them when I'm not getting them. That's a big difference as well.
It is kind of cool though. Someone else carrying the torch for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In other words, it's like sometimes Bad Andy does his bike rides, and he's listening to our show right now, which is pretty cool. But not every sunrise, like even in California, is going to be perfect. There's going to be, I'll tell you, half the mornings it's overcast and ugly.
Yeah,
because there's nothing to even take a picture of. I've learned to stop just posting a picture just because I'm there. It's got to be something, you know what I mean? My eye says, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, because you got to take yourself out of the moment to do that.
Exactly. That's like when I'm cycling, I never do it. And when I'm running to the beach, it's like it's got to be something really that strikes my eye, because I got to stop. I have a dog leashed to me. I got to pull out the phone and see if the light's good. It gets me out of the moment. So yeah, I've backed off from it, and I know what I'm seeing, if you know what I mean. And I'm happy other people are kind of doing it. That's, if we could start any trends, the DopLiving sunrise shot, which DJ Romero is certainly nailing. And speaking of nailing, Bad Andy, who is listening in, but he has kind of evolved as an artist in the last 9 months or 11 months. He just posted something pretty rad today, which he has his own style, which is the best thing about an artist, if you know what I mean.
Totally, yes.
Is you have to have what how I do things, whatever, artistically or in photographs. I know it's a little different than other people, but what he's coming up with, I don't understand the concentration that it takes.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? The stuff I do, I either snap a picture or I just put together pictures. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Put some letters on them. That's so there's not there is a physical detachment to it. What he's doing, and I'll tell you, for his issues, working on fine motor movements, as we talked about in earlier DopLiving, is really important. Yes, balance and fine motor movements are really important. I think especially as you get older, doing things that involve coordination and of course flexibility, but also balance. As you know, I'm a big fan of that. And I'll tell you, I really miss being in the water. And it was a beautiful day today. And if the weather's clear tomorrow, I'm definitely going in. If we don't have this wind, we're expecting this 23-mile-an-hour wind, which is pretty vicious. So if it hits, it'll change my day. But I've kind of scheduled my work day. It's like, okay, this hour, I think I could pull myself out, and and my head needs it too.
Very cool,
and my body needs it, because I know I feel better, I look better when I'm surfing at least 3 days a week. And but I miss it, and I'm ready to go. I've actually got all my stuff set out by the front door, so so I'm all prepared. Yeah, man. But for the kid, man, whatever I had to put off when my son was young, it's okay. It didn't, it's just like your routine is going to be really easy to establish, and like I say, look at the upside. What you miss is good, healthy stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like you're missing the casinos. It's not like you're missing strip joints. It's not like you're missing, the local tavern at sunrise. It's like, no, you're missing something really positive. And that's, my wife understands. That's kind of my mistress, is doing shit, doing physical stuff.
Yeah.
I like to, and I realize sometimes, like on weekends, I have to give her some weekends where we're not just doing rad physical shit.
Right.
Because I have to learn that balance. She's smaller than me, much more delicate than me, and going like, hey, beach every there comes a point where you go to the beach every day. It can't get old for a girl. You know what I mean? And totally, as a partner in this relationship, it's like, okay, we can't be, I don't need to always be the surf bum, and we don't always need to circulate, even though it's really fun and we both love it. So,
and that's
changing it.
That's totally a transition, as kind of I'm seeing at this point in my life, is I'm really not having to, but it's healthy and good for me to understand about that balance, because kind of, as you say, when you're younger, you just want to go, 110% hard at whatever you love and want to do. So whether that's surfing or it could be anything in the world. But when you got other people to think about and other priorities, that balance is something you really got to try and learn to do if you want. I think if you want a happy family and you want to enjoy the, as you've explained to me and a lot of other people, and I can see it, it's a very precious and quick time, that it's kind of like, that saying, like the sand falling through the fingers, it's happening so quickly.
Especially that childhood, man. Before 13 years from now, when she's in university, you're gonna remember these these chats, because it's gonna happen really quick, and you're gonna go, whoa. You'll just wake up in the middle of the night one night going, whoa, that time flew.
Yeah,
it's like wow. Wow. It's gonna. So invest as much. Make that the priority. I mean, you're working out. That's part of what you do. That's part of the food you need, and your spouse has to understand that too, and make sure you have that time, because there's a lot worse vices to have than kind of an addiction to movement, kind of.
Totally,
It is kind of. I've also called it the sickness, man. Right. In other words, there are people who are in this small compartment, and these are people anyone who gets good at anything physical can do it over and over and over and over again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And endure it, and you'll see people over to weightlifting gyms. The people are there every day at 5 a.m. Do you know that people? I have it. I remember when I was dating, a buddy of mine would always say, "Oh man, this girl's such a super athlete. She does this, and this." And I'm like, man, I don't want someone else who has a sickness as bad as me. I'd rather someone who has more of a healthy, attitude. Like Marie will run with me 3 days a week. She could paddle a bit, but she's not trying. It's not a competition, but she doesn't have the gear I have. I don't think we would be a healthy relationship if she had like that gear, or what I call the sickness, which means you wake up at the crack of dawn or whatever every day. It's like, okay, what can I do? Do you know what I mean? What can I, can I get a run in? Can I get something in? What can I get in this day? And it's a very healthy indulgence. Everyone should get that sickness to a degree. But I think the discipline of having the sickness, you also have the discipline to know, okay, well, I can manage this and back off. Sometimes people have the sickness, it's everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I see some people on Twitter who post every single time they go to the dojo, right?
Right.
I thought, wow, back in the day, if I were to document every single time, I don't know how important that is. Do you know what I mean? I know what I did. It's like documenting every single sunrise I see.
There's a point where you've got to be doing it for yourself, right?
Yeah. If it's a way to basically document, so you can look back and say, boom, boom, this is why I did it. But if you're just doing it to prove that you were there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't my exercise log, if you know what I mean. And you knew you were there.
But there is definitely a point of diminishing returns where I think once you get to a certain extreme, like too much of anything is not good for you, right?
Oh, your mind will break or your body will break. That's just what will happen. Hey, one thing, it's interesting. I learned the most economy of movement, because this matters when your time is precious. When I blew out my Achilles tendon and I had a 4-year-old child to take care of, right? With one leg working, you have to make every time you walk from one room to the next as economical as possible, because you don't want to have to do it again.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. So everything you need to get, you do in one one movement. In other words, if you have to go from the bedroom to the kitchen and then back to the bedroom or the living room, everything you need you carry in that one time. You try to remember.
I was going to say that'd be me carrying stuff, having it hanging over my shoulders and dropping shit everywhere.
Ridiculous. Yeah, ridiculous. But I've learned to to always do the groceries, be able to carry them in one, no matter how many were there, carry them in one thing. But yeah, I've just, I think all those years of kind of like working and always having a kid around, everything is economy. Like if I am doing one thing, I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean? Like also taking out the trash while I'm doing something else. That kind of stuff, it helps give you, it helps maximize time, I think.
Yeah, I used that approach when we first had our little girl, and what I would do would be every time I'd sort of go past a certain point, I'd do like a push-up or a pull-up, and that was kind of where a lot of my first grounding in those types of movements started.
Yeah, see, you adapted and you came up with something. That's cool. The environment. The environment is the best. Your environment, whatever's around there. Just gravity's usually, cool enough. But that's really cool. Hey, we did name this episode Mossack Fonseca. Those who don't know what that is, you want to tell them, Adam?
Yeah. So that's the company who are concerned with the Panama Papers. So that was the name of the company in, I believe it's in Panama, who held all the accounts of offshore companies.
Exactly. What was it? What were the Panama Papers in short?
It was a leak. Yeah, it was a leak of accounts and documents from that company.
Yes, they were hacked, and what was proven is that a bunch of rich, wealthy folks in government, in Western governments and Eastern, had accounts that they didn't pay tax on their money. Surprise, surprise.
And a big one I was reading yesterday, a huge implication in it is European football. So there's a lot of players who had offshore accounts. It's pretty deep.
And an American would argue, because our tax structure is not as punitive as it is in Western Europe and perhaps in Australia, they would argue that when you create a tax system that is sometimes in certain brackets you're in 70 and 80% tax bracket, it almost drives people to hide their money. Now, the other side of that argument is, part of being in a civilized society is paying your fair share of taxes, right? It's all how you want to look at it. But in America, hey, I pay all my taxes. I overpay my taxes. You don't. In America, if you do not pay your taxes, you go to prison. Okay? You know what I mean? You could do a lot of things and not go to prison. But if you don't pay your taxes in our country, you get involved in something dirty, you will do, at least a year in federal prison with a felony. So it's scary.
So pay your taxes, yeah.
I don't mess around with that. I don't make any false claims. And the IRS in our country is aggressive. They're aggressive. And if they say you owe them something, even if you don't, you have to pay them.
Yeah.
Don't get cocky, because it's a U.S. federal government. It's very powerful. So
it'll be interesting to see what the outcome is, because as far as I was reading, there are people who were already implicated in legal proceedings. So this might be the final nail in the coffin for a few people.
Yeah, Prime Minister of Iceland is gone, and it'll be cool, but. You would think there would be some more Americans involved. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I actually said that to one of my mates yesterday.
Reading, and I follow a lot of people on Twitter, but some people are alleging that this is I can't say any of this is true, but this is an intentional release of information because it makes Putin look bad. Especially, and it's mixed in with things that make Western Europeans look bad. Who benefits from this? I always look, who benefits? I did
read an article that had a very similar view to that.
Interesting. I have no insight on this, but when something like this comes out, you always got to wonder again who gets hurt. And I could see if every country in the world got hurt. You know what I mean? But I think there were only a couple minor U.S. players involved. Figures in the thing.
Yeah.
But you would think, one would think something like this. It seems like people who know about tax shelters probably tell each other. It's a certain class of individuals.
I saw David Geffen from, I think, Geffen Records.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty juicy, man. That's pretty juicy.
Yeah, so I think it just confirms what a lot of people already knew, is that rich people have ways of paying less tax and keeping more of those dollars. I don't think that's breaking news. I just think the confirmation of that and at what level and how many dollars is the news.
Yeah, it's
and also that the information can be hacked. That this information is not secure.
Oh boy, that you're a law firm. One would think, you know what I mean. One would think you would have better password security. And
I'll tell you what my take on that is, as an IT kind of view, is that technology's come along so quickly. A lot of these companies don't have the IT expertise to look after their IT requirements, because everything's now IT. So you've got previously companies that could have structures that didn't have any importance on IT, and in a very short period they haven't invested in the knowledge, skills or anything else that they need to maintain that capability in their company. I think that's what we're seeing.
Yeah, you have to, like you said, you have to invest in IT department. You have to have someone on the hopefully cutting edge, not just the son-in-law from college or something that's really good at fixing PCs. If you're a big corporation, especially managing billions of dollars, Jesus.
Yeah.
Was it one just bad password? We'll find out. I'm sure it'll come out.
Well, was
it
even on their own servers? Because most people's stuff is on someone else's server.
Oh, they didn't even have their own servers. Oh,
I'm not sure. But
yeah, I don't know.
I would say there's a high likelihood with, everything now is sold as the benefit of going on the cloud, but nobody's selling you a cloud service and saying, well, here's what the possibility is.
Yeah. Yeah, well, people should know that. They should know that, especially if you're a big business, and and not having your own server locked up behind a vault or something, and protected all sorts of ways. That's something that Hillary Clinton, the Democratic candidate, former Secretary of State in the United States, she's being investigated by the FBI because when she was Secretary of State, she had her own private server in her closet somewhere, and a lot of U.S. secrets went over her private server, which is a little shady,
That's totally shady, yeah.
Isn't it shady? If you were to hear that, see, here it's a political issue, but the facts are she wanted to run her own BlackBerry, and I think BlackBerry's run off another email account or something. Anyways, rather than using the most secure connections and forms of communication that the U.S. government was using off their servers and their devices, she decided to use her own BlackBerries with her own team, and it bounced off her own server.
Right.
So, and that gave her, you gotta look for anybody. If I have my own server for my work stuff, that gives me a little, do you know what I mean? I can edit some of that information and make sure it never existed anymore, right?
There's a lot of advantages, yeah.
It's very, she'll get off, but it's still very shady.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And also, too, why would you want to expose the U.S., especially in the time of a war on terror, to a security leak? So,
yeah, because I know BlackBerries, that's one of the advantages of a BlackBerry. I believe it communicates with only a BlackBerry server, and it encrypts a lot of the information.
Yeah.
But, I can't remember the exact details, but I know they're supposed to be one of the most secure platforms.
That's good. It's just yeah. So that's the deal, and that's why on this this week's image for Dope Living, it's Courtney Love and Hillary Clinton, because both kind of
Right.
both they just both seem corrupt. They just both seem corrupt to me for whatever reasons.
I thought the looks on their
know.
faces was kind of telling as well.
Yeah, there's no love in those eyes.
No, not at all.
And it's very interesting. These are two voices of feminism, yet they both owe much of their careers to men. Just, just a
true.
fact.
Yeah.
You eliminate the husbands from those equations, where would they be today? Just, never hurts to remember what got you there.
Don't stake the fire, water boxer.
It just, yeah, it just a thought though, just a thought. But you see, I'm not trying to stir any fires. Just observing, because it is a fact. You know what I mean?
Totally.
It is a fact that they both are known because of very important men in their lives.
And we've got a MMA minute from Leon Vega Suarez, so why don't we check out his tips for the upcoming UFC?
Okay, want to wrap it up there?
Yep.
Want to wrap it up now?
All right, no problem.
Okay, let's wrap it up. Hey, thanks for listening to Dope Living. This is Waterboxer.
All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate all the tweets and all of the love out there. So, yeah, have a good week, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.
What's up everyone, Leon Vega Suarez here with the MMA Minute on Dope Living. Yeah, this past Saturday, Junior Dos Santos scored a huge win over Ben Rothwell. I underestimated Dos Santos a bit, felt like he couldn't pull this off because he didn't look good against Alistair Overeem. All the damage he took against Kane twice and Stipe Miocic, I felt like he's on a downslide, but he looked very good, followed a very good game plan, going with jabs and straights to the body, slowing Rothwell down, feinting a lot, and picking his shots, really using his superior boxing technique and being very smart, picking his shots and not being countered. And when Rothwell tried to press him against the cage, he circled out very well and ducked under, didn't really get hit much against Stipe Miocic and Kane. When he was pushed against the cage and tried to get away, he got hit with a lot of shots there, but he looked a lot better in this regarding the cage work and clinch work against the cage. Actually, he didn't even let the clinch be an issue here. He circled out right away and was very good at keeping it in the center of the octagon. So huge win for Junior Dos Santos. And this upcoming Saturday, UFC on Fox 19, main evented by Glover Teixeira against Rashad Evans. It was supposed to be Khabib Nurmagomedov after his two-year layoff because of injuries. He was supposed to fight Tony Ferguson, but Tony Ferguson is injured now. And Khabib Nurmagomedov will fight the UFC newcomer Darrell Horcher. And some said Nurmagomedov should get a title shot right away because his last fight 2 years ago was a win over the champion Rafael Dos Anjos. But I feel like a tune-up fight against Darrell Horcher is right what he needs. He will get back on track, I feel like, and yeah, it's better. 2 years is a long time. He had serious injuries, and I feel like that's a better solution. And Tony Ferguson would have been a tough test, actually. So that's probably it's a lot easier for him to get back on in the game and get comfortable again in the octagon. So I'm just gonna give you my picks, not really breaking it down too much. Just the top 7 fights. I'm gonna give you my picks and keeping it short this week. So, John Dodson against Manny Gamburian. I'm picking John Dodson here, definitely. He's a lot faster. He has the footwork. He's back up to bantamweight, not that drained from the weight cut. So, John Dodson. Cub Swanson, Hakran Diaz. I'm going with the upset here. Swanson's the favorite, I think, and going with Hakran Diaz. Michael Chiesa against Benil Dariush. That should be a very interesting one when it hits the ground. Both guys very good jiu-jitsu players, but I feel like Benil Dariush is a little more polished on the feet and probably also on the ground. So going with Benil Dariush. Keisha Torres against Rose Namajunas. I'm definitely going with Rose Namajunas here. Her reach, her ground game, her submissions, it's going to be too much for Tisha Torres. Lyoto Machida against Dan Henderson. Not that easy to pick because Machida hasn't looked good recently, took a lot of damage as well, but still going with Lyoto Machida, probably by decision. Then the co-main event, Khabib Nurmagomedov against Daryl Horcher. I've never seen Daryl Horcher fight, but looking at his record, you gotta go with Khabib Nurmagomedov, one of the best grapplers in MMA. Khabib Nurmagomedov, definitely. Then the main event, Rashad Evans against Glover Teixeira. I'm pretty sure that Glover Teixeira will win this fight. Rashad Evans didn't look good against Ryan Bader in his last fight, so he had a lot of injuries as well. He's older now, a lot slower. His explosiveness is not the same anymore. Glover Teixeira can still box like a crazy animal. He has solid takedown defense, and if he needs to, he might be able to even take it to the ground, but he's on the feet at this point, a lot more dangerous fighter, so going with Glover Teixeira on this one. Alright, thank you for listening. Enjoy the fights this weekend. See you next time.
Pussies like Michelin, so I pretend to be something that you ain't. You got me laughing to the fucking bank, and plus I do you something stank. I'm bad to the bone, now to the gristle, putting the squeeze on niggas. So fuck Mr. Whipple, lift your nipple on my ear, baby girl it might pick. Come on, I drink OE like Fred G, drink the Ripple, word to draw. Niggas wanna play hard rock for doses. That shit got to go. I clock back, shot the flow, quarter. Now hook him to the respirator, get the shit back to his hip while he vision in the escalator. Now play the humble in the tunnel with the bright light at the end of it. Word is born, time to end this shit. Here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, y'all. That's how it go. Here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, y'all. That's how it go. Here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, y'all. That's how it go. Here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, y'all. That's how it go. Guess who's next up the flex? No need to introduce. We hold it down the spot just like the pimps to 1 to 40 deuce. So here's the story, kid, you bore me, don't ignore me. You're getting killed in my territory. You think you're clever, son, but you're never, son. Gonna get a chance to fucking con me like Edison. I think you better run, cause I'm coming at ya. And what the fuck you gonna do when I catch ya? You little bastard, you get that ass hit. When I blast it, you're gonna end up in the fucking casket. I kicks the mad shit, I come to show the flow. You're fucking with a pro, but yo, I guess by now you know. So here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, yo. That's how it go. Here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, yo. That's how it go. Here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, yo. That's how it go. Here we go, yo, time to get dope. That's how it is, yo. That's how it go. Niggas stumbling, I see you fumbling, kill the mumbling. Cause when I'm on the track, I'm never whack when I be rumbling like this, like that. I'm fatter than the fattest. Niggas wish they had it, they know my style the fucking baddest. You got some status, but yo, you're just a pussy. I fuck your girl, I make her do the wild tussy. You need protection within my section for the injection. The number one in my fucking collection. I blast off like a rocket, so don't knock it till you try it. I come deep like a riot, you can't deny it. I keep it on lock. A 40 in the blunt, motherfucker, and you don't stop. I'm on the scene with the nicotine puff. I got you clean and make your fucking spleen rupture. Nice with the ways, since the days axe niggas. I know a lot of rap figures and pushing crack niggas. Perhaps whack niggas need to play the back step. I got styles for days, but styles ain't even had yet. I'm super fly, hate me, but never violate me. Used to smoke a pound a week, but I've been getting higher lately. Rhyme say his knee praying. The sniper's getting hot when you make the sign of the cross. X marks the spot. L clips to my lips with my niggas to my side. 380 sash in the 325. Oops, I'm at the 8 now. Beast think I push more rock than Mr. Slate. I'm fat like Ricky Lake. Here we go, yo, time to